In this video, we are gonna take a closer look at the ongoing Kickstarter campaign for the board game Townsfolk Tussle. Hi, my name is Claus, and as I said in the introduction, we're gonna take a look at the ongoing Kickstarter campaign for the board game Townsfolk Tussle. But first, I just want to tell a bit about why we are focusing on this campaign now, because we completely ignored the first Kickstarter campaign. So the first time around when the base game was on Kickstarter, we heard about it, but we didn't really look into it, we didn't try it out or anything like that. After we have tried the game, played it, different number of players, different of the ruffians, etc. And we made a big mistake by not covering it and by not backing it the first time around. So this time we are gonna cover it, we are gonna talk about the campaign or whether or not you should back it. But first off, let me just tell you about our experience with the base game. So first off, this game is a board game, it is a cooperative boss battler, but it shares a lot of stuff with not only boss battlers but also dungeon crawls, etc. in the way the board is laid out with different terrain that you can interact with. The townsfolk are funny, the whole theme are fantastic, and the ruffians are very variated, not only between each other but also in the different levels that you engage them. There's 4 different levels based on how far you are in the game, and there is notable differences between the different versions of the same ruffian. Overall, it is a fantastic game for, I would say, 2 to 5 players, and it goes quick enough that you don't really get bored when you're playing at 5 players. Each turn goes really fast and there's always something to discuss or something to do. But that was about the base game and what we think about it, so let's go over and check the new Kickstarter campaign. So here we are on the Kickstarter page for Townsfolk Tussle. This is for the expansions Foul Neighbors and Odd Jobs, but it also allows you for the second edition reprint of the game that sold out very quickly if you were not part of the first Kickstarter and the prices went skyrocket on eBay. So let's go through the campaign. So first off, we have the story. If you don't know, I would really think that you should go in and check out some of the original reviews from some of the other creators of the original Townsfolk Tussle. But the whole idea is that the sheriff of the small town Eureka Falls where you live has been murdered, and now it's up to you, the townsfolk, to protect the city from the ruffians, from and now it's up to you, the townsfolk, to protect the city from the ruffians from all around the city and the nearby cities. So I'm not going to go into too much details other than what I already told in the introduction about the original board game, but we are going to look at what you will get in this update, in these expansions. So first off, we already talked about what it is. It is a cooperative game. It has an old style look, but in a new fun version. There's a lot of really cool references all over the game. And it is very easy to learn, and I can definitely say that this is true. We played it with a couple of non-board gamers a couple of times, and they just, from the first turn, they knew exactly what to do. And it was a really good time for all of us. We played 5 people in that session. Next up, we're going through these expansions. So the first is the Foul Neighbors expansion, which brings new ruffians to your game, as well as some new terrain, 2 new townsfolk, if I remember correctly. So this is definitely gonna be a nice expansion. You already get, I think you can see it further down, but I think you get 8 ruffians in the board in the base game, and you need 4 for each playthrough. And they will differentiate based on when you encounter them as the first, second, third, or the last ruffian. But this will definitely give you some more variation, some more ruffians, and some new tactics that you need to apply. And as I said, all the ruffians are feeling very unique in the way that they play, all their cards, everything. So this is a really nice addition to everything. And I know they have new stuff like patches where you need to remove part of his suit every time you damage him and stuff like that. So what do you get in the box? First off, you get 8 new ruffians. So I'm pretty sure this is exactly the same amount as you got in the base game. So we have Ernie Offal, Red Atrocious, the Doorknockers, Mrs. Falls and Co., Barry Bluff, Tilda Fields, Tartar Fishboy, and Patches. And then you get 2 additional Townsfolks, Judy Marks and Bridget Jones. So you only have 6 Townsfolk original base game, and you can play up to 5 players. So this is really a nice addition to see, to bring some more variation for those of you that really like to bring a game to the table multiple times with the same group. Other than that, you of course get new starting gear with 2 new Townsfolk. You get all the action decks for the Ruffians. You get some new Ruffian gear. So if you don't know, for the base game, there's different kinds of gear. So you have peddler gear that you can buy. You have starting gear that your character starts off with. You have special Ruffian gear that you can get by defeating the Ruffian. And then you have unique gear that you can earn. Then there is 16 secret gears, new town events, character tokens, a lot of new tokens to use for the Ruffians, 13 new terrain cards and terrain tiles. And that's the really cool thing about this game, that you will put up based on the Ruffian and which encounter it is. You will put up this table with a lot of interactable terrain that not only you but also the Ruffian can interact with. Sometimes it will be very important in the way that you need to defeat the Ruffian, and sometimes it is just a big help that you can go search for gear or get help damaging the Ruffian for some of these terrain pieces. Then we get the Odd Jobs expansion. This expansion is a bit different from what we have seen up until now with the base game and the Odd Jobs that just extends the base game, because this time you actually need to help the peddler that will sell you stuff get her inventory back. And this is gonna play out, as far as I've been able to read, like a small campaign where you go through this map of the Hostelands and try to unlock more and more gear over several sessions. And I'm also pretty sure this is the one that gives you the rolls, which is a new way to say that if you have a specific combination of gear, then you can apply it and get a specific role with some new abilities to that role. Yeah, so we have the roles here, like the farmer. So what you get in the box, you get the 13 bottom peddler gear, and what this means is that the peddler starts with like a lot of almost unusable gear, and then you need to go through the campaign and do stuff for the peddler to unlock better and better gear, instead of normally you just have the peddler deck and it's random. I think it's 10 items that comes up for each city city visit that you have between the Ruffian battle. On that, you have some tarot size roll cards here, and that is what I said, you are getting some additional abilities, additional bonus for filling out a specific role, and you fill out the role by having some specific gear equipped on your character. Then you have the peddler journal with stickers on what you have completed and not completed, and you have some deployable tokens here. And then we come down to what I think is one of the most important things of this whole campaign, and that is that you have a possibility to get the original base game if you missed out like we did on the first Kickstarter campaign. And they've made a lot of changes to the box based on the feedback and the experiences that people had with the first Kickstarter campaign. So first off, you get a new bigger box with trays and inserts actually designed, or better designed, to optimize the storage of all the components inside the box. There is an update to the way the peddler works. There is additional ways to play without 4 Ruffians. So one of the critic points that a lot of people had with the original board game, and we also found out, is that it takes quite some time to battle 4 Ruffians. So most of the time you want to kind of do 2 or 3 Ruffians, but the game is set up to 4 in the original base game. But this has been fixed now with a 3-round mode that I would say you can probably get through 2 players in a couple of hours, and 5 players maybe in 3.5 hours, I would think, instead of the 4+ hours that it takes today. Other than that, you get all the original stuff. So you have the rulebook, you have 7 townsfolk. I only thought there was 6 actually. Oh, that's because I don't know this guy, Georgie Ironarm. That's not one of the townsfolk I remember seeing. You have, of course, the sideboard used for the peddler and the Ruffian based on what you play. You have the accessory trays, which is this new insert. And then you have all the components like the original Ruffians, all the townsfolk, all the cards, etc, etc, etc. And you are getting, can we see that? Oh, you're actually getting 12 Ruffians, not 8 in the base game. So again, we don't have the game, we have only played it with friends, so my memory is not that good about the base game, other than the experience and the fun we have had playing it. So here we have the minis, so you have Quintus, Henlo, the Blobsy Twins, Jancy Flower, Foreman Fishbody, Georgie Irongut, and Granny Melba. Yeah, so I forgot Georgie down here. Then for all the ruffians, we have Kevin the Milk Frog. I have battled him quite some time, quite a number of times. Really fun battle. You have Hansi, tried him. Lomandosi, also fantastic battle. One of my, one of the worst ruffians, not because he is badly designed, but because he's hard to defeat. It's Umbrella, really funny. Virginia Fitz, King and Queen, also fantastic ruffian to play against. Deputy Wackhams, Will Barlow, Fort Dois, one of the most interesting design-wise ruffians, because he's not really bad, he's just unlucky, and that is gonna go, that's gonna damage and hit the townsfolk. Really, really funny to read his cards and see how the battle plays. Samuel Strawman, Kenny Pichati, and the Bandits. So now let's go over to the pledge level and our recommendation. So first off, you can get this new version of the game, the Spectacular Second Edition, for $105. That is a $20 discount. And if nothing else, then get the base game. Definitely get the base game. This is probably one of the best boss battlers that combines so many things. So if you like Gloomhaven, if you like Awakening, if you like Kingdom Deaths, these kind of games, this is the game for you. This has a much more cartoonish, funny, casual way to it, but still have the depth and the mechanics to really dive into the game and get a good time, both with casual board gamers and hardcore board gamers alike. Even in mixed groups, we have tried both and it works perfectly. Then there is the Returning Townsfolk, which is all the expansions, all the new stuff. If you already have the board game from the previous campaign, or you bought it off eBay or whatever, and of course, if you like the game and you want to expand, this is what to get. And then we have the welcome basket down here, Peddler's Welcome, which is everything at a nice discount, 210, and that will net you the new Spectacular Second Edition with all the expansions. So I would say our recommendation is probably just getting the Spectacular Second Edition, but if you do like the whole campaign part, or just think this is definitely a game I'm gonna love, we're gonna play, then go all in, just get the Peddler's Welcome. If you're really into it, and I don't know if there's anyone left of this, let's just take this 10 days, 11 days to go of this at the time of recording. And you can still get, nope, all gone. But there was this special version here where you pay this additional $115, and then you actually get your name on one of the gravestones inside of the box. They did the same with the original box for the board game in the first Kickstarter campaign. I think this is a really nice way to pay homage to some of the premium backers. For the add-ons, of course, you can add on additional version of the expansions, or you can add an upgrade pack if you own the first edition and want to upgrade for second edition. There's also one of my favorite add-ons of all time for any game that uses tokens and coins, and that is metal versions of those tokens. There's nothing like the feeling of actually sitting with metal tokens instead of those cardboard tokens when you play. Just sitting fiddling with them in your fingers while you play is a fantastic feeling. The first time I had it was with the Tavern Masters, also a fantastic game. And we also have it for Viticulture and some of our other games that uses coins for the games. Or we even have clay poker chips for some of our Western games as well. It just really upgrades to a more premium feeling of that game. For the stretch goals that we are seeing right now, there is not that many, to be honest. But they are extending this map, the Peddler map, for the expansion. And they are also looking into some additional minifigures. That is what they are trying to unlock right now. And then we have all the achieved stuff. So we have illustrations of the action cards, card event cards, updated landmarks for the Peddler map, new items, updated box art for the Foul Neighbors expansion, box art for the Odd Jobs, new item again, etc. So you can go if you want, but nothing too crazy, nothing that you're gonna really miss out if you buy the game later, but nice little add-ons for those of you that want to back it. Yeah, I think that is most of the things for the... Yeah, and of course there's all the reviews, and all of these are really, really good. I would say Quackalope and Board Game Co, as always, have done a fantastic job. They have covering this game with physical copies, something that we unfortunately can't do. So go check out their videos if you want a more in-depth of the actual content and both of the base game and the expansion. There we have it. That was an overview of the current Kickstarter campaign and our recommendation for what we think you should do, whether or not to back it, and what pledge level to back it. As I said in our introduction, we think this is a fantastic game, and we definitely recommend it, like we already said with the pledge levels. As always, if you have any comments, please write them in the comment section below. And if you found this video helpful, please think about giving us a like and subscribe. It is highly appreciated. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching.